Hi guys. This is a Dear Diary reading. And this is the first time in maybe over like 2 months that I can actually use my right thumb. Like, I got really mad at someone and like I use my lighters sometimes because I smoke with them as like ways to retaliate. So like I'll just tell you real quick. I was at the car dealership like trying to get some like mechanical repairs done on my dad's car. Like he sent me to run an errand for him during the like work day, and there's a piece of like ash in the air. Yeah, there could be like smoke in the air, guys, and that could have been like a factor in any delays that you may have been experiencing. But yeah, my dad sent me to the like Dodge dealership to get some maintenance done on the car, and they had me there for like 7 hours for like no reason. Like the guy gave my dad the like workup of how much, like they gave it to me because I was a girl taking the car. I think they thought that like I didn't know anything, and I really didn't, but I was doing it for my dad, so I showed my dad the receipt for everything, how much everything cost, and he was like, "That's like way too much," and I think he argued with the guy. And then the guy got mad at me because I was the one who was like there, and they like made me sit there and wait like way longer than I really needed to. And then like I was there for like 7 hours just like waiting on the car, and it was like already like ready. They were just having me sit there to like punish me for my dad's like attitude. And I got mad, so then I was like literally sitting in the lobby like this because I knew that they had cameras and they were watching me, and I think I put the fear of God in them a little bit, but yeah, it actually came at a cost to me because I had like this huge callus on my finger and it hurt like a bitch for so long. But that's like not relevant unless it is relevant. This is a Dear Diary reading. So this is for Bunny, and she wants to know like what steps she okay, so it says knowing I need to move forward from a relationship and fearful of my steps moving forward. And that's all that's in the description. So I feel like I have like creative freedom here. Um I think I'm gonna start with some intuition oracle just to kind of see like what's going on for Bunny, wherever she might be in her individual life, and we'll just see what comes out and where that takes us. Because we have like maybe like an hour here to kill spiritually, to kill spiritually, and that makes me feel like Bunny, like I know that you booked this reading like maybe like 2 weeks ago, so like in the time of you separating yourself emotionally, detaching from this relationship, there's a good chance that you kind of like I don't want to say draining your person, right? Because I don't think that your intention is to cause this person any kind of harm, but I do feel like if you were like the sole inflator of this person's like egoic balloon, if you've taken a step away from like pumping air into this person's like ego or psyche, like they can feel the difference. So yeah, like this could have been a situation where you might resonate with having been aligned with like a narcissistic type of person. Not that this person like should necessarily be like automatically condemned for having like a narcissistic personality. I think a lot of us at times can relate to like having a lot of self-interest, but I do feel like you could have been one of the main validating factors in this person's life. And your name, like your code name for this reading is Bunny, and that reminds me of like one of the military situationships that I was in before, because they have this thing called like a barracks bunny, and it's basically just like a girl who's always like DTF, and like you can always just like count on the bunny to be there, and maybe the bunny even like harasses you and like wants to be around you all the time. Like it's kind of like an archetype for a girl who like maybe has like daddy issues or is just like hypersexual. But like I used to get kind of like called that just because I feel like there was a lot of misogyny around the place where I used to live, and so like any woman who was attractive or like was confident in their sexual like sexuality is kind of like dubbed a bunny. So I actually started like crocheting bunny hats, and I kind of like made it like one of my things. So I actually like rabbits as a symbol, like as a feminine symbol, because they multiply, they're creative omens, they're like fun and they're like cute, you know what I'm saying? So I think that like those feminine qualities that you have are true to you, um, but they may have been like misinterpreted by this person or by the situation or by anybody else who was involved in that situation, just because of like their perspective going into the situation. So like there's a good chance I'm kind of picking up on like this energy of like this person could have like condemned you or like not appreciated you, and then like the absence of you kind of puts like this new lens on the situation where like now we're living more in reality. Like I feel like you've been switching over from like idealism to reality, and it like you may have been like in this idealistic energy where you're like, this can work out, like I can fix this, and this person's more like idealistic in almost like a more negative sense where like they had ideas or conceptions that weren't based in reality about who you were, or maybe like what role you played in their life, or their ability to maintain whatever imbalance you probably perceived that led you to want to take a step away from this connection. So the card that fell out is the Initiator, number 13. It looks like this. Firepower. Not at the museum. Affirmation: I overcome resistance and do what must be done now. So this is gonna be like, hey Thorn. And there's a character from Peaky Blinders, I've been mentioning that recently, named Ada Thorn. Interesting. I wonder how that might like come into play later on. But it says, I overcome resistance and do what must be done now. So I feel like this is like you coming into this period within your own psyche of like just knowing like what you need to cut out, what needs to be removed in order to like, hey Bernadette, thank you guys for being in the live chat, in order to move forward. Like this is you kind of taking like stepping up to the plate to take some make some of those harder choices. Like I'm also hearing now Off With Their Heads. I recently bought an Alice in Wonderland book. um like I'll just tell you a little bit about my own life. Like in recent months, I've also like kind of taken a step away from like a situationship that used to take up a lot of my mental attention. Like I was pretty much like mentally focused on one person, like situationship wise, for like maybe 2 years straight. And like this person was really like all I thought about for like the longest time, and like I was insanely loyal to this person without like I had like no reason to be this loyal to this person, but like I used to like curve people. Like I didn't even flirt with anybody because I felt like he had this like conception of me as like I'm an attractive person and I have social media platforms and like I'm active on them, and I like didn't want him to think that like I was just like loose or free, because I felt like I had to like overcompensate in that area. So I like really like pulled back on like all of my social interactions. And I never really had that many female friends or anything like that, so I wasn't very like socially active. So he was like pretty much the center of my world, and I was okay with that because that's kind of like the person that I am. Like I don't typically feel the need to be super involved in a lot of social situations. But it's like basically I just kind of like made him the center of my world, and like I was okay with that even though I wasn't getting everything I wanted, because in my mind I was like, okay, well, like I'm just putting in like the good work right now, like I'm proving myself, like I'm earning my stripes, and like who else will he be able to like look at his roster, because I knew he had like multiple people. I was like, he's gonna look at his roster and be like, none of them are as loyal as her, none of them are as like devoted as her, and like I was proud of that. Like I was like, this is my shit. Like, you know, like I'm the most rock solid woman probably that he knows. And I allowed myself to kind of like get dogged out, kind of, because I thought that I was like earning it. And that's like kind of a reflection of like what I know relationships to kind of be like in this like premature era of my life. Like my parents' marriage was kind of like that. They ended up getting divorced, but my mom was like very ride or die, like very committed. And the narrative that was painted for me as a kid was that like my dad was like a serial cheater, and then she just kind of like stuck it out for as long as she could until she left. And that's pretty much exactly what happened. in this relationship that I'm like now phasing out of. But the difference, like, or what's like significant about this now is like I've tried to like emotionally distance myself from that person like a bunch of times. Like it's been like up and down, and I always like found myself being like drawn back into their orbit because we had like this really like intense psychic connection where like I felt like I could like almost like hear his thoughts or like feel what he wasn't saying to me. And like yeah, like it was just really intense. Because I had allowed myself to be vulnerable to him in that way. Like I wanted that level of connection, and I felt like he enjoyed being able to like kind of manipulate me with like the least amount of effort required. Like I think it was a flex to him that like I could be as sensitive to him as I was, but I don't think that he really appreciated my sensitivity to him. So, yeah, like now that I'm like walking away from it now, it doesn't really feel as hard because I think I just got to this point where like I really was just kind of like fed up with what I was experiencing. Like I just started to like really realize like I wasn't getting anywhere closer to the outcome that I had in mind. And he actually ended up like re-enlisting, I'm pretty sure. So, and he's across the country, so it was like a long distance thing, and I was just like, well, yeah, I don't think this is gonna get anywhere. Like, I can hope and like pray or whatever, but like, whatever. Like, I just really got to this point where I had just internally decided that I was ready to like move forward. And then immediately after that, like, I flirted with like this guy, and then like that was fun because like it made me feel like a human being again, because I had felt like, because I was in this long distance like 2 year situationship with someone who like rarely acknowledged me as being like as significant as I felt like I was in their life, even though I like consistently invested, because like I was on my like notebook shit, bro. Like I was writing this guy like every day, like texting him even though he wouldn't like really respond to me. Like I didn't really care because I knew that he was like reading my messages, and I just wanted to talk to him, like, because I just genuinely kind of like liked him. Like I just wanted to like talk to him. And now that I'm like talking about it, I feel like such a like a little stupid idiot. But like I am like really like shameless in the way that I like love people, because I just really don't love people that often. So like when I do, like I just want to like express it, and I express like at 1,000%. And so I was basically like harassing this guy from across the country, and like I did it shamelessly like every single day. Like I would tell him like what I was doing and like what was going on in my life, and I think that he really liked it because like he didn't have to like talk to me or like say anything back to me, but like he still got to be like the only person in my life, and then he got to know everything that I was doing every day. Like it was like I was like the most low maintenance girlfriend ever. Because he didn't even have to fucking speak, and I was still there. So like I think I was really just settling, but I was okay with it at the time. Like I knew, I was 100% aware like throughout that whole thing that I was kind of like not getting treated well. But I just didn't really give a fuck until I did. And then once I did, I was like, okay, well, like, why am I dealing with this? Like, I don't have to deal with this. And then, like, I don't know, like, my energy's been freed up. I've been like revived. Like now, like I was like I mentioned that I was like flirting with that guy for like a while, like a couple of days, and then I didn't really go anywhere. I didn't really expect it to really like go super far, honestly. It's like it was more like a, dare I say, like a rebound situation where I just needed to like feel alive a little bit, and like that guy was great for that because he was really nice, and like he complimented me a lot and basically like showed me what I probably should be expecting when I'm going into the world, like in dating people. Like I should expect to be with someone who can reassure me when I feel anxious. I should expect to be with someone who like compliments me, um, like lets me know that they find me attractive, doesn't like try to degrade me. I know this is not like rocket science, right? But like, but I was really in the trenches, bro. So the initiator. Like, if there comes a time when like you're just ready to do something else and be somewhere else and be someone else and like accept those higher outcomes. And like, I really don't judge myself. Like, I can sit here and tell you guys about how shitty I was being treated because I don't really care. Like, like the whole time it was happening, I knew I wasn't being treated right, but it was just that like in the mindset I was at the time, I just didn't really care to assert myself, right? Like, I think I maybe felt like I was just really in the habit and the cycle of just being attached to him, and I didn't even really want to invest effort into talking to anybody else. Like, I was like, what does anybody else even have to offer me because of the history that exists here? Like, I was like, we went through shit together, so like if anybody gonna treat me like shit, like may as well be this person. Like, I don't know, like I just didn't really give a fuck. So yeah, your mentality towards yourself and what you think that you deserve in life is probably going to be changing, and it probably won't just be in this area of your life where it's like love. It probably will also be like career. Like, you might notice yourself having like higher aspirations, or like feeling like you want to ask for a raise in your workplace, or whatever the fuck it is. It just feels like you're getting to this place where you're realizing, like, you're reassessing yourself and like everything that you are made of, and you're like, does my external world and what I'm attracting in, does that reflect that? Like, when I think about things, like, I'm a person who's like insanely smart. Like, I have business savvy. I'm learning multiple languages. Like, I have learned multiple languages. Like, I'm an attractive person. Like, I have my flaws and stuff like that, but like I'm not like ugly. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, I go to the gym sometimes, and like when I go there, I know what I'm doing. Like, I have things about me that make me um like a person of value that's like worth having that value reflected. And I think like the right person would reflect that value to me, but because I had it in my mind that it was gonna be this person, and I was just like so gung-ho on like making this person, like convincing this person to give me the reaction or like response in the material world that I wanted them to, like I kind of just like abandoned all my other ambitions. So this could be a time when like your guides want you to like recall yourself, your power to your like center, and then figure out where you're going to redirect that. Like, if you could have everything that you wanted, like what would that look like? Especially like in a romantic context, because it's like a Dear Diary reading, but it doesn't have to just be that. Like, this could just be a good time for you to recalibrate. And that makes sense for me because I'm at the, like, I'm like a couple days before my next birthday. So I've been already thinking about like maybe like journaling out like some of my intentions for the next year. With the initiator card, that kind of feels like that's in alignment with this energy. Like, what would you initiate? Like, what expansions would you initiate? What journeys do you might you want to go on? How can you make that stuff happen? What's in the way? We have the joyful number 42. That's Jackie Robinson. Affirmation: I know that the purpose of life is to be happy and live purposefully. So this is like your guides working on you to put you in the energy where you can really enjoy your life more. And part of that seems like leaving this person behind. We have the fighters, number 27. Affirmation: I fight my resistance to accepting the dualities of life. So I mentioned that, like, in the very beginning, you know, we have the past here too. I shine awareness and compassion on my past. I mentioned like you taking a step back from this person, especially if you were as heavily invested and consistently investing in this person as like I was, where like every day for like 2 years you're like stalking this person or like kind of like spiritually harassing them, and they kind of got used to like your support in that way. Taking a step back from them might really kind of shake this person to their core. So you might like feel that struggle energetically between this person trying to pull you back into the like situation. Like you might notice within your own mind you trying to find silver linings in situations that really don't have one. And now thinking of that movie, like the silver lining something, and it's like these two people who have like mental illness, and they kind of like find each other, and they're just like kind of like navigating that. I honestly don't think I've ever actually fully seen that movie, but I know that they were like crazy people and they were in love. So you could have been like that. Like, you could have like a Harley Quinn Joker thing going on. Where, you know, you're just like, maybe you attracted to this person in a period of like imbalance, right? Like I mentioned that like I had a trauma bond with that person. So like I met this person when I was like across the country. I just like ran away from home and I was trying to figure out who I was in the desert. And I got lonely one day and I like went on like Tinder like right before I moved into my new apartment. And I matched with this guy and then we like hung out and it was like fun and like it was fun. Like it was fun. And I think I got really attached to that feeling of fun because as soon as we had that like separation, like my life got really hard again. And then when I was like when I was in that hard time, I was like, I really wish he would come back so I could have more fun. And then I guess like I got caught in that like pattern of, oh, when I'm struggling or like when something's hard, like I should go back to this guy because he's fun. Like, and then I just kind of felt like in my mind, I got like stuck in the idea that he was the only person that could make me feel good or like could bring fun in my life. Like in my mind, I associated like comfort and peace with him because I had it. Like I felt like I had like genuine comfort and peace when I was with him and when I was like giving to him and when I was like nurturing him. Like it made me feel good. So I just like I'm really the type of person who just like locks in. So like if you give me like a good feeling and like it's a good feeling, like I'll just keep like wanting that good feeling. I'm not like the type to like go around looking for like every single good feeling I can get. Like, you know, like so you might like notice as you try to move forward from this person, like them pulling on you and that kind of manifesting in your reality as you thinking about the good times. Like, remember the times we had, the times that you and me had. So you could like notice that like yourself like mentally reflecting on what was in the past. But I think it's a good idea for you to like kind of like keep your head on your shoulders and remember like maybe just how far in the past that actually was and whether or not like that's even a like physical possibility in the current. Like don't allow yourself to look at the situation with rose tinted glasses because then you'll be stuck with this cognitive dissonance that might make you more like liable to repeat old behaviors. I also quit smoking cigarettes for the most part. I've been like not super consistent about that, but like I bought an entirely different, like I bought a vape, so now I don't, you know, it's not my default, it's to pick up a cigarette, you know what I'm saying? So I'm like just in general in my life trying to like use healthier coping mechanisms because I like genuinely was just a really self-destructive person before. Like I just didn't care to preserve myself really. So yeah, we have the spectrum affirmation. I root out and reject prejudice in myself and others. So yeah, the situation is like true colors could be a thing here. But I didn't show you the picture for this. Did I show you the picture for this? No. Okay. This is the joyful. It's a lady and she's like dancing with a butterfly. So big time transformation vibes. Big time rush. This could be coming in like you could just like suddenly wake up one day and be like, I'm done with this. And then you just start doing that internal process between you and you to get yourself into the mindset that you need to be in. To see everything for what it is, full colors, no lens, no like filter. Because like, you know, like on social media, like you might put on a filter because it makes you look the way that you want to look, but then you might get so used to using that filter that you forget how you actually look, or like you feel like you only look good with the filter kind of thing, or like with makeup. That's like one of the reasons why I stopped doing my makeup, because like I remember at one point in like high school, like I felt like I only looked good if I had makeup on, and I didn't like that because I was like, dude, I don't actually look like this like on a regular basis. Like I'd rather just, you know, like how I look naturally than to be codependent on like a false version of myself. I still like now it's like the complete opposite where like now when I put on makeup I feel like I look like a fake version of myself. I don't know if it's because I'm not doing it like well or like what but I don't really necessarily like how I look like when I put on a lot of makeup. So there could be something about that as well, like making sure that you're not overly attaching to false realities basically. And then because like if you are that way, you can't really be upset when, you know, the false reality shows and proves itself to be a false reality. Like, try your best to stay in the real and attach only to, like, not only to what can be proven, right? Because like, there's like a balance between, like, yeah, I'm an intuitive and like spiritual person, like I'm in connection to myself and like I can receive signs from the universe, and like I I only live like in my head, and like my head's in the clouds, and I'm not like on earth, and I'm not like really perceiving reality as what it is. Like, so you probably want to like make sure you're like managing that balance within yourself so that you're not initiating cycles that like won't reap any really like long-term rewards, right? And that can be hard for some of us, like people like with these really like, I just wanted to say like spoofy placements. Like I'm thinking like Pisces, because Pisces is like all like spacey, like kind of like Aquarius, for you. Just like you have an idea sometimes, if that idea feels good, you just kind of like want to move forward in the direction of the idea. Like you could be idealistic, um, like overly imaginative, and I feel like I can relate to that because of like that crush energy that I was in. Like, um, I honestly didn't have a hell of a lot to go on for like 2 years. Like it doesn't take a lot for me. Like I think maybe because I'm like crazy or something, but like I like oh my god. When I talk about it, it makes me feel so insane. But like I basically had like 2 dates with this person, and that was enough to keep me like completely locked in for like 2 years, bro. Like it's almost kind of embarrassing to like say that. Cause like I but whatever, dude. I'm just I'm just like that. So yeah, you could be like that, and you could be the kind of person who like if something just feels good, you just really want to hold on to it. But try to just like keep your head on your shoulders here, and if you're like feeling like you're coming to some like greater realization of like how you've been fucked up, like just allow yourself to take the L that you might need to. Like you might need to accept with your, and within your own mind, like, hey, like I wasted my time here, and don't let saying that like be the end of the world for you. Like it's okay to have made a mistake in your relationship. Like if you, it doesn't matter if you like spent money, because I know a lot of times like masculine energies are like the type of people who like, oh, I've already like, you know, been like paying for this, or like doing this, like I'm already this much invested into this relationship, like if I just stop now, then like what did I spend all that money for? But like relax, dude. Like that money will come back to you, and you might actually spend less of it if you actually do make the decision right now to separate from this person, especially if you realize that they're not like properly appreciating you and your investments. Like so, like don't stay stuck in a cycle that you know doesn't serve you just because rada 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 rada. And that kind of just seems like where you're at right now in life in general, not even just in love, is like realizing what you need to do for yourself to put yourself in the energy that you want to be in, and like removing the lens of like whatever false reality could have been existing at play. And that false reality is probably just a result of your own interpretation of truth. Like you yourself could just be maturing more. So like you are realizing more. So it's not like you were living in a false reality because you wanted to, really. Maybe you did, maybe you didn't. It's more like I was living that false reality because that's just where I was in my life at the time. Like I just didn't know better, or like I wasn't strong enough to do better at the time. Like Chief Keef. Chief Keef has this line. It's like if you knew better, you do better. So like now's the time like to realize like where am I holding myself back from just aligning with like better things in my life, and how can I start to mentally first gear myself up to receive new and better things in life. So yeah, I mentioned my rebound, so you might need to like rebound or something just to like get yourself back into like the swing of things, like just feel alive again. Because like I mentioned, like I was like super robot mode because I was like mentally fixated on this guy who I hadn't like seen in like 2 years. So it was like hard for me because like I'm so like locked in usually as a person. Like I like when I have a hard time like making eye contact with people that like I don't like like if I don't, you know, if I'm not interested in a person, and I'm not very superficial, so like even like the most attractive people for me like are easy to ignore because I'm more of like a vibe center. So, yeah, like I just like I can be really averse to any kind of interaction except for with the people that I've chosen to allow myself to be open to. And yeah, like I've been having to work on myself so that I can even like have a chance at attracting like other people. Like it's just hard because I'm just like antisocial like as a person. Like I don't interact. Like I just literally don't. I'm very sensitive energetically. Um and it's just hard for me to do that. So, okay, let's see what else I can tell you about this energy. If you knew better, you do better. I'm getting money now. I used to shoot niggas. Shoot that in the cup. It's the crew, nigga. So I just like be hanging out with like your people, you know? And that's okay. I'm with my family right now. Guilt just hit the floor. So that could be an energy of you, like releasing your guilt towards your decisions to prioritize yourself, or it could be someone else's guilt in retrospect, realizing how they mistreated you in the past. Could be both. Angels, ancestors, and spirit guides. What else does Bunny need to know about this energy moving forward from this connection? Insecurity. This is like not super clear. Hold on. I hope you can see that little demon dude like attached to the heart. And then we have victim. I just heard like fear is a liar. So like I don't know like if you relate to that thing about like feeling like you're missing out on your investment or like losing out on your investment. Don't let fear keep you in a place you don't want to be. What does Bunny need to know about this energy moving forward from this relationship that she's realizing doesn't serve her? Abundance. Holy shiz. Abundance. So it feels like everything good is like right on the other end of you deserving that you understand that you deserve that. But you need to like make a choice here. And that is like a deciding factor here for like you spiritually. It's like your willingness to walk away from something else like completely, totally. Being completely whole in that decision so there's nothing like left behind for you to like want to look back at is important. Like I had to go through like 2 years of like wavering in between before I was like really ready to just like move the fuck on and like delete messages and stuff like that. And then like for me, like once I get there, like it's really hard. I don't really look back after like I really got it in my head that like I'm done, you know? But it takes me a while to like get there because I have a Taurus stellium and I'm just like a really fixed person. Like most of my birth chart is Earth. I'm hearing Bad to the Bone by, I think it's like George Thorough something. And I'm hearing that verse where it's like, on the day I was born, there's just all gathered around, and they gazed at the white wonder, at the joy they had found. The head nurse spoke up, silly this one alone. She could tell by the way that I was bad to the bone. Bad. Bad. Bad to the bone. I wonder if that's you or that's someone that you like are distancing yourself from. Like, I don't know. Okay, this also reminds me of like, cause I'm like this, like not like I've been like this historically. Like this is not my first time like basically devoting my life to someone with no reason to. So like my first, I guess I don't know if I would even really say this, but I guess my first love or whatever. Like the person I lost my virginity to, this was in high school. I think I was 18, 17, 18, something like that. And I lost my virginity to the movie Super Bad. And there was like this guy, and his name was Kai, and like he was bad. Like he was bad, but that's what I liked. Like that's what I liked growing up. Like I was like good, and I was like good, and I just liked bad. Like I did. I was attracted to that. I, you know, usually attracted to people who had like a very different skin complexion than me. So like he was pretty dark skinned, and like I just was like into that whole like opposites attract thing. Like he was also really smart. Um, so there could be something about that, like, and for him, like I was like obsessed with him for like 4 years, so like 2 years before and then like 2 years after. Like pretty much all of my high school experience was like devoted to like obsessing over that guy. It was also another like long distance situation. Like he didn't go to my school. He lived like in the city and I was like in the suburbs. So, you know, like I liked the kind of guys who were like in the action, doing things they shouldn't have been doing. I thought that was exciting, and I also liked and enjoyed the idea of being stability to those kinds of people. Like I've always like I think I was kind of like bred like as a woman to be that kind of woman, or like I am the comfort to the chaos. Like the chaos finds refuge in me. And I know, like, I know in my heart of hearts that I was that comforting thing. But the only thing about that is that it comes at the expense of yourself, especially when you're dealing with people who aren't mature enough to know how to reciprocate, like, what you need from them. So, like, I don't know that, like, there'll ever be a time in my life when I'm not attracted to super bad people. Like, I just think that that's kind of, like, where I'm meant to be going in life is, like, I'm going to the top. Like, I'm meant to be living, like, an abundant lifestyle and stuff. And people who can really match that and like provide that for me are people who are super bad. But I think the difference is that as I grow up and I get more mature and like I start to like attract what I am, then I'll be attracting people who have more of the capability to return to me what I can offer in the form of like stability. Bernadette says Bad to the Bone was an inside joke that she would sing with her person. That's cool. We have isolation here. So, like, I wouldn't be surprised if your person, like, still thinks of those inside jokes, like, even in the separation or no contact that you have. Like, I feel like this is the kind of situation where, like, you would have left a mark on this person. And, like, vice versa. So, like, whoever you are, like, I have no interest in going back to, like, the person I lost my virginity to, right? But, like, they still are that person for me. Like, there is, like, a significance to that time in my life, so to such an extent that like it's a story in my book. So I feel like you and this person are existing right now like as a story to this book. Like you're there, like you're there, not because you have to continue to engage each other or even like invest in that, but just because it's like history. But don't over invest in history, basically what I'm saying, because history is the past. Like that's, you can't probably tap back into that energy even if you wanted to. So it's a good idea to like come to reality of what was there and then just allow that to be what was there. Like just appreciate it for what was in the past. Like too much could have happened here to a point where like it's detrimental to kind of backtrack. And it's important to be realistic about that as well, because you don't want to like inhibit your own ability to move forward in your life because of what you're attached to in the past. Well, I just dropped half the hand. That's what I'm saying. Like, don't place a bad bet. thinking that you can like make this person into something that they're not or whatever. Can I have one more, please? Thanks. Impartiality. Yeah, this is time for you to like get objective. Like be the eyes. Like just see. Just see. Without taking like too much stock in what happens, because if you like allow yourself to be super emotionally driven here, you could be missing out on like insights about how to move forward. Like don't shy away from negative emotions here. Like if you need to accept the fact that this person didn't treat you well and that you were kind of naive in your pursuit of them, like even that makes you feel like kind of stupid, like let that be what it is. Or it could be the opposite, right? Like let's say like the opposite, and like you've made a mistake in this relationship and that's part of the reason why this thing isn't moving forward the way that you want it to. Like accept the fact that you made a mistake. Like let that sink in. Like don't be the person who like shifts blame towards the other person who is suffering, you know? Like I don't know, like it doesn't, I don't know like what that is exactly, but there's something about like just seeing the situation for what it is and not overly investing in it, like your position, over sympathizing with the other person's position, because that could be another thing that has happened here, like in the past historically. Like I mentioned like the ride or die mentality, where it's like I can see why you did that, so I can forgive that you've done that. Like you might have been in that mindset of like over empathizing with people who have no empathy, and that could have gotten you kind of stuck, because like once again you're like this energy of like eternal forgiveness, or like you're the one who always apologizes for things that you shouldn't have to apologize for, and it just keeps you in like this almost victim energy, but it's like the victim energy that you decide that you want to be in, because you're allowing this person to continually transgress against you because you're attached to like being a victim in this relationship. Like you feel safe as a victim because you're not getting what you want, but you're also not putting yourself in a situation or position to actually get what you want, which probably would be not in this relationship. So it's just like, yeah, like this is the time to kind of like get real with yourself about what's what, and then allow this person to do that for themselves, like away from you probably. But abundance was the first card that comes out here, so it's like even if you are losing this relationship, like it doesn't feel like this is the end of the world for you. This is probably just like the beginning. It's coming out underneath the initiator, the beginning of a process in which you realize how to align with a greater sense of abundance, like ironing out the wrinkles in your own purple thing, like psyche, like your own connection to the universe, and how you're deciphering that in order to figure out what actions to take. Not because like you were wrong before, but because all the wrongs that you were taking and like investing in before were important to who you were in the past. So like this is just you kind of like up leveling into the next version of yourself, and that means understanding what to fix, what to amend, in your old ways of being, like recognizing new patterns even within yourself, so that you can like take action or like innovate yourself here. Like rebranding could even be a thing here. Like I recently like changed my hair, so like my style is even changing a bit. Like the things that I do, how I spend my time, my hobbies, like all of those things are changing, and it's making me a more refined person. And it's not that I wasn't like worth anything in the past, but like I've been investing a lot of effort into becoming someone that I'm proud of, and I've been doing that for myself. So this could be a time when you just want to do that. Like you're starting to feel like more robotic. You're not really investing a lot into things outside of yourself, and you're just like workaholic in abundance towards the things that you know that no matter what anybody else has to say about, like will bring you abundance. So this could be like school. Like I know this is a time like people are taking exams and stuff like that. Like graduations could be happening here. I'm like learning a language. My birthday's coming up. I recently met a fitness goal for the police academy, and I'm satisfied with that. I'm training, so like there could be things that you're doing for yourself that make you quality. And those things, like, those things matter, if not even just for right now, then just like karmically speaking, because it's like proving to the universe, to like God, that you are willing to do what it takes to be in a better energy. And that's always rewarded, like, in due time. So let's see, what else. Even if not in the way that you think, right? Because like, I might not actually become a police officer, but like, it's still good for me to have goals. It's still good for me to have goals. And I believe in like, even the value of a temporary goal. Like that rebound thing, you know? Like, it was good for me to just be in the energy of flirting with someone other than that guy. And like, allowing myself to be disloyal. Even though like, I had absolutely nothing to be loyal to. But like, you know, it felt like a rebellion for me. Because like, I felt like this guy had like this grip around my neck. Like, he was like, like I like belonged to this guy, and like I didn't, not really. Like it was like I think it's what he wanted, but I think I like mentally agreed to it. But like, yeah, I did belong there, and like, no, I shouldn't go anywhere else. And that's the reason why I was stuck there for so long. It's because I didn't really want to go. So now that I do, I can. It just took me a while to actually want to. So, hell yeah, congratulations to us. We're free. Oh shit. But yeah. Dude, I even wore like rings on my hands, and they like left scars. Like I was very invested in that relationship. Like, anybody who knows would tell you. It was like fucking supernatural shit, bro. Like, I don't know, like, what that was about. I don't know what, but it was crazy. It was crazy, bro. I never, like, honestly, like, if you would have asked me like 6 months ago, I don't even think I would have been able to guess that I would be where I am right now in my mind about it. We have To Be Fair in reverse. That's number 38. I'm hearing Keep Moving Forward by Meet the Robinsons. Like that, like, thing. My throat hurts now. What the fuck? I need more water. It's not even water, it's actually coffee, but whatever. You know what I mean? Oh, it's because the whole thing's upside down. Okay. It wasn't in reverse. Okay, so we have To Be Fair, A Message in a Bottle, Not For You, and To the Sea. So yeah, this feels like rite of passage energy. Like, you could literally be going on a journey, or you're just like changing your mind, and that's happening over time. The movie Moana could be significant. Like, I'm thinking of that time when she's on the boat and she's like ready to like return the key to Tafiti back to her grandmother, and she's like, bro, like, this is just too hard. And then her grandma's like, well, bro, if you want to, like, whatever. But then her grandma actually ends up like talking her from away from the edge. Hold me now, I'm 6 feet from the edge, and I'm thinking, maybe 6 feet ain't so far now. Like, you could have been in a cycle of behavior that, like, you know, was really about to get you stuck somewhere, whether you saw that or not. Because like I said, I was smoking cigarettes, and like, that's just like not really good. Like, especially, it doesn't really align with some of my like life goals. Like, I want to be like a mom, and like, I don't want to destroy my body before I even have a chance to like really use it, right? Like, so there could have been something about like you being like if you're noticing like a sudden shift in your own mindset towards something that you used to feel like another way about, it's probably because like your angels were coming in to help you be in another energy, like to balance you out. Like, To Be Fair Message in a bottle, not for you. Like, you could have been like really committed to a way of being that was not good, and now you need to really see that, and you need to like really wake up about what that thing is, because if you keep going there, it could have like some kind of disastrous outcome for you that would be really hard maybe for you to recover from, or just like devastating to your self-esteem, or damaging to you emotionally. um like it'd be better for you to realize this now than to continue to delude yourself about your ability to make something happen here. And this feels like harsher truths, but like I feel like this is the time for you, like maybe you're like the most accepting of these harsher truths, like with to be fair, that feels like Libra energy, especially with impartiality coming out here, workaholic. I'm picking up on like Capricorn, Libra, like Saturn energy. Like maybe check your like birth transits or your birth chart to see like where Saturn might be moving around there, because you could have been like going through a period of like suffering and like struggle, and it's because you need to like realize something about yourself, about your life, that you have been resisting. Like I'm thinking now berserk of like this like brand, like you could be cursed in some way, like, or feel like that, and it's like because of this, because of who I am, what is now not possible or unrealistic for me, like, and how am I deluding myself about like who I am? Like, am I not understanding certain things that are pretty core and fundamental about myself because I'm not allowing myself to, or because it's really not available for me to understand? Like, now is the time for you to like kind of like piece it together, realizing things. Like, what is what? What is real? And like, this could also have something to do with like your inheritance in life, like who you are, where you come from. Because I went through like a period of time like in recent years where I was like realizing like who like my family even is, and like workaholic is coming out here, so like what I come from genetically, and how that predisposes me for things that I'm gonna be experiencing or like taking part of in this lifetime. It's also coming out touching the fighters. And Moana is like, her family was like these like explorers, these like conquerors, you know? So you might be like having some kind of like, even beyond this like love energy, it's just like expansion of self that makes you want to go out and like take control. You might notice those aspects of yourself being like highlighted, and it's because there's something maybe like there's maybe even an opportunity in specific that's available for you to kind of like spearhead or initiate, and you should be like following yourself here in some kind of way, because there could be something about like, you know, like your spiritual guides right now, messengers in a bottle, and what they're trying to communicate to you about an opportunity that could be opening up for you that would bring you to like this more happy, abundant, joyful outcome. We have deep knowing at the bottom of the deck with like an owl, and it's number 43, so that's 7. And then the fates, so like Hercules vibes, bro. Yang, and it's like a gift. So like I feel like like I mentioned that there's like some kind of reward on the other end of an initiation or something, of effort. Like, you know, it could be as simple as like taking a test and then like producing from your knowledge base and then getting the result of that. Either that's like a literal test that you sit down and take, or it's like you maneuvering through the world like karmically, like with this greater level of maturity, and then the world recognizing that about you and then responding to you appropriately. Like when I left here, I was in a much more immature energy and I was afraid of a lot of stuff. And I'm back here now on like HYDE turf, and I'm not really afraid of what it means for me to be a HYDE anymore. But I used to really be afraid of what it meant for me to be a HYDE, because I was just like, oh my god, like, you know, Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde, like everybody knows that Mr. Hyde's the monster, Frankenstein's monster. Like, you know, it's not like a joke. Shit is real life. It's burdensome. So now that I know who I am, it's like, you know, it's really like sunken in with me, and I'm like, okay, well, this is just what it is. Like, I was given this life because I'm uniquely capable of handling it. I'm sorry, I'm like fidgeting with my water bottle under the table. So like, you can feel like most hated in some kind of way. You know, like you're dealing with the reality of what you will continue to attract in life and creating a greater level of maturity for your ability to like handle it, receive it, and then like manipulate situations to get what you want. And that's what I mentioned, like, you know, I lost my virginity to like super bad. Like, you know, I'm a HYDE. I'm a super bad. So it only really makes sense that like I would attract that. So yeah, like, you know, it might be easier for you to like understand why things have gone the way that they've gone, or like why you've experienced certain things, when you just understand who you are more. Deep knowing in the fates. Like, maybe look into your like your last name, like your cultural background, your ethnicity. Looking into like your family line, your family tree, like asking your family about like what they know about certain people in your life, past, present, you know, like just knowing more could be helpful, because you might even recognize some patterns that I've repeated. And then like if you can recognize where someone else has gotten from their behavior, you can probably avoid certain outcomes. Like in my family, like there's been like domestic violence, there's been a lot of cheating, a lot of alcoholism, you know, drug abuse, like all those things. Like I have an addictive personality, so like yeah, like, you know, that's a thing that like is real about me. So you know, there could be just things that you're like realizing, accepting, and then allowing yourself to navigate through right now in life. But at the end of the day, like, you don't have to really worry about losing things, because I feel like you're a person who's like especially guided, if not protected from things. And abundance is like associated with you right now, regardless. So I don't think you have to worry really, because you put in the work with workaholic to stay in this like balanced energy. But you do need to recognize when things are not for you. Like when things are like showing up as like a problem, like they're a problem. And it may not always be the things that you like that you would think. I don't know how I even mean that. It's like you might start to realize that there was even a narrative placed before you that was not accurate or like untrue to some extent. And then you'll have the challenge of like figuring out what really did happen, like going back in time to figure out what was the truth. Because maybe like not everything that you know is everything that there was. Like, maybe there were certain things that's out of the story that you were told about. Like, you know, I mentioned like my parents' divorce and stuff like that. So like my parents got divorced, my dad like pretty much just like went away. And it was my mom who told me stuff about what happened in their relationship. And so she kind of had the freedom to create the image in my mind of who my dad was before I really started to know him better. And I used to like kind of see my dad as like the villain, because I was like, dude, my dad is like the villain. Like he cheats on my mom and he hurt her feelings and stuff like that. So, you know, like stuff happened, stuff changed in my mind, in my perception as I got older, and I started to see both of them for people and not just my mom as a superhero and my dad as a supervillain, you know? So allow yourself to kind of like change, and then let that change you. Let your perception change how you move. And that's only like fair and right, that like that would be how it goes. Like you shouldn't continue to operate out of old perceptions. Like that's just probably not wise. So yeah, let yourself change, because I feel like that's kind of the key to you initiating some of these new behaviors that get you to these newer levels of abundance, and help you see the world a little bit more clearly if you have been confused about like where you've been going wrong or like how you can improve. Okay. Is there anything else? Yeah. It's my sippy cup. It helps me like heal my inner child though. I'm gonna use this. Oh, bro. I'm gonna use this Animal Apothecary, and the card on the top is Breakthrough. So this is good. even if it's painful. Like, eat the pain. Berserk struggler. I'm hearing like in New York. You can't do. Now you're in New York. Look, abundance and workaholic. So like you could be about to like I said, like graduate or something. Like you're getting like your street cred, or like people recognize you as having abilities. Like objectively speaking, you have abilities. Impartiality, like there's no special favor being lent to you. You're just that guy or like that girl. Okay, what is Bunny's guides want her to know about this energy right now? How can we close this reading? We have keep trying in the reverse. This is what it looks like upright. More of that Aquarius energy of like maybe over idealization, but if you've lost a limb, like you know that like is that phrase or that saying when it's like, oh, this cost me like an arm and a leg. Like, dude, like let it be. Like cut your losses. Then we have get out of your head. Like I could be like, oh, I've already put in 2 years into this, I may as well just skedaddle or like keep going. But like whatever. I'm not going to, because I've decided that I can't uproot myself when I want to. You are about to shine. It's a little armadillo dude for the candle. And then we have abundance again, but it's in like the reverse position, but whatever. I'm not gonna overly feed into that. So I have this dog named Josh Allen, and his name, Josh Allen, reminds me of Paul Allen from American Psycho. And Paul Allen, if you don't know, is like this character who Patrick Bateman, like crazy guy, he's like really jealous of and then tries to kill. And he also like he's a white Siberian husky, and he has like this really big head, and like I always tell him that he looks like a beluga whale. And beluga whales navigate the ocean through the use of sonar, which is basically when they send out frequencies from their like big squishy brains, and then the frequencies bounce off of stuff and then like come back to them with like information about what's out there before they even get to it. So I've spoken before about this, like another reading, about how some of you guys could be manifesting through some kind of like sonar vibe. And one of the ways that you can, yeah, literally, prayer answered and then immense growth. So like one of the ways you can probably like test this out for yourself, like in your life, like do I manifest this way, is like when you are thinking about something, you create this like mental like you create like associations with this person, and then you see that association, that object reflected to you in your environment, whether it's like, you know, when you're scrolling through TikTok or like when you're driving on the road. Like I went to drop my brother off at the airport today, and like I mentioned before that I've been like applying for like the sheriff's department. So like I saw a sheriff's car like on the way to the airport, and then on the way back I saw like maybe like 5 different cop cars. So I know that there's like, you know, cops in the world, right? Like I know that they're out there. But when I see like a whole bunch of them, I start to like kind of like allow myself to feel like reassured by the fact that I'm amongst my collective. Like the fact that I want to do this, and that there's like readily signs in my world like available for me that thing is like nearby. Like I let that kind of like make me feel secure, instead of like being like the kind of person who's never feels reassured by the universe at all. Like I don't like to be in the mindset that the universe is not working in my favor, because I feel like that just doesn't really like work well with manifestation. So I like to always kind of like, to the best of my ability, be optimistic about what I'm seeing and how I'm perceiving things, and how things that I perceive can actually be like serving my own better good. So with like get out of your head, you're about to shine. I don't know what it is that you've been really wanting, but like abundance has come out here twice, 2 different cards. A lot of like yellow energy, immense growth, and prayer answered. So like things seem like they're about to come in for you. You could have like specifically asked for like gifts, or just like specific objects, or there could be some regeneration that you wanted to do, or like healing. I don't know if you've been sick or anything like that. Like yesterday I was like kind of sick. It could be like, if it's not like a sickness, like a health thing, it could be like once again like that, like over idealization of situations. So like you're allowing yourself now to see things more clearly. And that's like helping you with your echolocation, because you even know how to direct your own mental energy in a more efficient way. So yeah, that's what I have. I hope that helped you. Thank you for getting this reading, and I'll see you in the next one.